Welcome. Good morning, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sam Salganic, and I'm lucky to be the executive director here at the Rhode Island Parent Information Network, RIPIN. Thank you for joining us as we celebrate this new chapter in RIPIN's story. Very special thank you to Senator Reid, Senator Whitehouse, Representative Cicilline. Very excited to have these distinguished guests at our event. It's kind of like having 3 of the 4 Beatles come to join you. And, I wonder how often they hear that joke.
It's the first time.
Also, special thank you to Mayor Solomon, Senator Miller. Did Commissioner Infante-Green make it? Thank you, Commissioner. Almost 30 years ago, oh, there she is. Hi, hi, Commissioner. Almost 30 years ago, a group of 10 parents got together in a warehouse in Providence because they had something in common. They all had children with special needs, and they were all having trouble getting the resources that they felt their kids needed to thrive. But for these parents, it wasn't enough to meet that challenge for their own families. They wanted to create an organization that would help all families like theirs. And that's how RIPIN was born. Today, RIPIN employs almost 100 people, and we help Rhode Islanders of all ages access special education, health insurance, health care, early intervention, and many other supports. And today, we're cutting the ribbon on this brand new, beautiful office. True, RIPIN looks different now than we did in that warehouse 30 years ago, but we've stayed true to the vision of our founders. Who better to help a neighbor in need than a peer, someone who's been through that same challenge in their own personal life? Today, still, a majority of our board and about 3/4 of our staff are themselves caretakers of a loved one with a special health care need. Our staff are really a lot like our founders. They're peers who wanted to meet challenges not only for their own families, but for all families like theirs. Our plan for today is pretty simple. Senator Reid, Senator Whitehouse, Representative Cicilline, Mayor Solomon will each say a few words, and then you'll hear from Robin Ramos, a client. Thank you for being with us today, Robin. And then it'll be a little like a wedding. There'll be coffee and snacks for everyone while a few of us slip out into the lobby for the ribbon cutting photo, and then we'll come back and join everyone. So without further delay, I'd like to introduce Senator Reid, who's been fighting for Rhode Island since before RIPIN was born. He started as a state senator, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Started in the state senate in 1984 and joined Congress as a U.S. representative in 1991, just as those parents were getting together and making RIPIN a reality. Selected to the Senate in 1996 and has been fighting for Rhode Island there ever since. Welcome, Senator.
Thanks, Sam. Well, thanks very much, Sam, and I will follow the Beatles analogy. I must be Ringo, the least talented one, the pickup drummer when the real drummer failed. So here I am. This is a real pleasure to be here and to salute RIPIN, but also to recognize my colleagues that have done so much to help the RIPIN mission over the years: Senator Whitehouse and Congressman Cicilline, Mayor Solomon, Josh Miller, who's been a leader in our state senate for so many years when it comes to these issues. My former senator, Teresa Piva-Weed, I blame her on all the things that don't work, and she blames me. So we have a great relationship. Commissioner Infante-Green, thank you for your great work, and also Deputy Director Yvette Mendez from DHS, thank you too. And of course, to the board chair, Dr. Lou, thank you very, very much for what you do. We're here to celebrate RIPIN, to recall, as Sam suggested, that this started about 30 years ago, 1 year after the passage of the Americans with Disability Act, when a group of Rhode Island parents decided that they needed to come together to strengthen themselves and really protect their children, to share information, to advocate for those children who are differently abled, not disabled, but differently abled, to find their talents and their abilities and to give them an opportunity, not only for their own development, but for the development of our community and our country. It was a great movement. In fact, 30 years ago it started. 44 years previously, We had passed the first major legislation in this area, the Individual with Disabilities Act. And we've come a long way in those 44 years, and particularly 30 years ago. And it's been because of the efforts of advocates like RIPIN. Through their efforts, we're now incorporating a policy of inclusion and integration of these children. Now, children, all children, play together, learn together, compete together, and that's a big result of what you've done. It would not have been done without you. And we have to make more progress, and that's why I want to salute RIPIN and their leadership for their continued advocacy, their continued efforts to make sure that we don't accept the status quo. We've made improvements. We've got to do more. Let me commend most particularly Robin for her efforts, but she is emblematic of all of the parents and the advocates who do so much. Now, in Washington, I can assure you, knowing Sheldon and David and Jim, we're going to do our part to keep the funding going, to make sure that the Disabilities Act is funded adequately, to make sure that their parent training and information centers receive the resources they need. We're going to continue to do that. But we can't do it without RIPIN. We are not as effective an advocate as a parent, as someone who is engaged with this issue on a daily basis. So you are the ones who are leading us, inspiring us, giving us the information and giving us the inspiration to move forward and to continue your great fight. Now with that, I'm very proud and delighted to introduce my colleague who is a zealous advocate for RIPIN and for things that affect children and families throughout the state, Senator Sheldon Whitehouse.
Sheldon's Paul McCartney.
Jack, thank you very much. It's a real treat to be here with Jack and with David, and I know Jim Langevin would love to be here. We are a very good team. I don't know that we're the Beatles, but we sure do try to keep the beat. I also want to recognize Mayor Solomon and thank him for his great leadership, a friend of many, many years. Board Chair Lowe, thank you so much for your leadership, and all the members of the board who are here. Commissioner Infante-Green and Director Mendez. Actually, Yvette gave a really beautiful presentation at Sophia Academy just earlier this week, so thank you very much for that. I want to recognize Teresa Paiva-Weed, who has been my senator too. She had complete control over the U.S. Senate delegation by being both of our senators, and Josh Miller, who's been one of the best advocates in the House on these issues for a very, very long time. And I also want to recognize Anya Rader-Wallach, who had a very impactful term in the state and is still now here working at Brown. We are going to continue to drive delivery system reform in the state. We are going to be the best. We're actually getting there. And Robin Ramos, thank you so much. Robin is a great advocate for the ALS community, and I'm delighted that she is here. I just want to say thank you to all of you for doing this. You know, we fight really hard in Washington to make sure that the programs are there and that they are funded to provide the supports that families need. But we find very often among our constituents that people really don't know how to access those supports. And when the problems are a little bit difficult, then the challenge becomes even greater. And that's where RIPIN steps in. You all do such a good job making sure that families get the support they need, and they get it in the very best possible way from peers, from people who've had to walk the walk themselves. So we're really proud to be here. We're really proud that you've grown. The mayor is thrilled that you're in Warwick. But we would have you anywhere. We think you're terrific, and congratulations. Anything that we can do to be helpful, don't hesitate to call on us. You have a very good constituent to senator ratio. Make use of it. Thank you. Oh. And now I get the job of handing it off to, I don't know, Paul or George or somebody. David Cicilline, who has been fighting and working on these issues from his time in the State House, powerfully as the mayor of Providence, and now in the Democratic majority in the House of Representatives.
Good morning. Yes, we have never been called the Beatles, but we're going to use this at least all day, maybe all week. But thank you, Sam. I'm delighted to be here with, of course, my two senators, Senator Reid and Senator Whitehouse. Thank you, Mayor, for your strong leadership. Our former leader in the Senate, who was a real champion of healthcare and education, Teresa Paiva-Weed. Senator Miller, thank you for your powerful voice. Director Mendez, Dr. Wu, thank you for your chairmanship of the board. Commissioner Infante-Green, who is leading a community effort to improve the Providence Public Schools. She's not going to do it alone. All these partners in this room and many others have to support her work. Particularly, I want to welcome Robin Ramos, who is going to tell a very powerful story of RIPIN and the importance. She traveled to Washington to share that story as well. I think the point I want to make is the same as Sheldon's, really, is to say thank you for the work of this incredible organization. We fight for and advocate for resources for all the pieces that we know are necessary for a healthy and productive life, for good health and well-being and socioeconomic success. But it is really contingent on those resources and those programs reaching the families in need. And RIPIN is really where all of that comes together in this really magnificent way. And I know from my time as mayor how important this organization has been in connecting folks to resources that are available. And this is very often in circumstances where, things are overwhelming for families, where it's really hard to navigate these very complex systems and bureaucracies. And without RIPIN, I'm afraid people would give up or would just not figure out how to access the help that's available. So this is really, really important work, and you deserve a magnificent office to match the magnificent work that you do. So congratulations. And our delegation and obviously Congressman Langevin, I know wishes he could be here, especially since it's in his district, this new office, which I will rub in a little bit when I see him. But we stand ready to do everything that we can to continue to support the really critical work you're doing to help Rhode Island families achieve all that they can and receive all the support they can in important points in their lives. Thank you.
Of course, we didn't move to this office just so that our staff could have nice places to sit. It's all about the people we serve. So, Robin, if you'd like. Oh, no, Mayor Solomon. Representative Cicilline was to introduce Mayor Solomon. That's all right. That's all right.
That's all right. Thank you. I'm going to be very brief. And I'm going to be very brief. Everyone's been recognized here for their tremendous effort and their heart and soul devotion to RIPIN. But one thing I've learned about RIPIN cannot happen without the participation of each and every one of you in this room here today. I look at the board of directors, some of which I've met for the first time today. I've spoken to Robin. RIPIN is clearly a guiding light for those people that need guidance in an area they've never, ever encountered before in their life. This move to Warwick, the increase in size, everything that it comes from your heart within shows. And that's why you're growing, and you'll continue to grow. And I look forward to your continued growth within the city of Warwick, and I look forward for the city of Warwick to be a partner with this organization as it grows and provides services to the community. Thank you.
And this time I really mean it. Welcome, Robin.
Good morning. I don't know how I'm going to follow these four gentlemen, but I'm going to put it on a little personal basis. My name is Robin Ramos, and when I was asked a couple weeks ago if I wouldn't mind speaking about my experiences with RIPIN, I did not hesitate for a second. I have two children with autism and special needs, and as much as a parent takes care of her children, certain circumstances come about and extra help is definitely needed. I called RIPIN at a very stressful time, needing help navigating through the health insurance industry. So many questions, feeling so overwhelmed, and I was put at ease with my first call. I was supported by Amanda. I know she doesn't want me to keep saying her name, but She has been my hero, along with this organization. A wonderful, knowledgeable, and caring employee who helped me with all of my children's needs, offering resources, offering support, follow-up calls, telling me about the endless programs that RIPIN offers. The success that she had making sure that the children were taken care of with resources and with their health insurance put me to ease. Years later, I am still calling her. It hasn't stopped. Asking her questions, asking her where I can get the help that I need. The resources they have are absolutely remarkable, from help navigating through the insurance industry to help with education, nutrition, transitioning a child into adulthood, and helping people with disabilities be successful in this community. On December 20th, 2017, I was diagnosed with ALS. It was a shocking diagnosis for myself and for my family. I had been the financial provider for my family, and all of a sudden, I was deemed disabled. This, of course, was a very tough and stressful time for me. I again reached out to RIPIN to seek help with my own insurance needs, and in the past, I knew help was on the way. Looking for supplemental insurance, looking for advice on where to turn assistance for the children, wondering what to do. Amanda, my go-to specialist, helped me with such knowledge that steered me in the right direction. She treated me like a family member with such concern and compassion. In closing, I feel so blessed to have access to this wonderful organization that is available to not only myself and my family, but to everyone in the community. You are always treated so kindly by their staff and ensured help is on the way. I wish them well at this new location, and I thank all of the RIPIN family for their help and support. And I would also like to thank these gentlemen, Senator Reed, Senator Whitehouse, Congressman Cicilline, and Mayor Solomon. I would like to thank the director and the board and all the distinguished guests that are here today. This is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful association, and I want to spread the word, because I don't think that I would have, I know, I don't think, I would have never been able to get through the past few years without the help of this organization. And I'm still calling. I've called this week for help with something. It's not a situation where they're not going to call you back. It's not a situation where they're not going to have an answer. It's not a situation where they're just going to put you at the bottom of the list. They're going to act, you're going to get the call, and the results are going to be seen. And I'm pleased to say that I have a 21-year-old daughter and a 22-year-old son who both work and are both very successful. And I want to thank everyone today for coming here, and I want to thank everyone for all of your hard work. And I will continue to advocate for this association. And thank you so much for the honor of speaking my private story.
Thank you. So help yourselves to coffee and juice and snacks, and a few of us are going to go out for some photos now.